Welcome. Hi, Jason. As you know,
Hi,
I'm
how are you?
Jackie Tobin from Rangefinder. You're Jason Vinson, Vinson Images. I just
Yep.
wanted to talk to you a little bit today. We're both quarantined in our homes. We're both self-isolating. It's week 4 for me. I don't know what week you're on.
I'm
Probably
at like
similar.
30 days.
Wow. And you have 2 children.
Yep.
Congratulations. You and your wife just had a baby.
Yes.
And you have a son. How old is Zayden?
He's just over 2.5.
Oh, and did you have a little girl?
Yep. She's just over a week.
Wow, what's her name?
Riken.
Oh, cute. So it's very admirable that you're doing this right now. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Um,
They're napping, so it's easy.
right. And so I've been seeing a lot of images that you've been putting on Facebook, really cool creative projects you've been doing from home, pictures of Zayden. There was something you just did, another series called Ken and Barbie, if I'm correct, or Barbie.
Yeah.
Um,
Barbie and Ken. What? It doesn't matter. Yeah.
but so before we get to that, just tell me quickly, like, who are you? Who is Jason Vinson? And define the look of Vinson Images and
Oh
what the
man.
brand is about.
So we're primarily wedding photographers. We're based out of Northwest Arkansas.
Hmm.
Style, I'd say, is like cinematic. We like saturated colors and deep blacks, and we do a lot of playing with light, so natural light, off-camera flash, video light, light
Hmm.
painting, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's your style is very distinct. Um, I love the saturation of the colors. There's little like moody undertones, wouldn't you say, for some of them?
Yeah.
But I really like the look a lot. And so while you've been home, obviously you're not shooting weddings right now.
Nope.
And you shared with the Rangefinder audience recently the series that you did on your son Zayden. So you did a blog, right, of 14 days in quarantine.
Yeah, and
Can
I
you
need to
talk
update
about
that because
those?
I'm at like day 25 now.
Well, can you just talk a little bit about those images? Like, what prompted you to do that? And was Zayden a willing
Um,
participant?
yeah, he's definitely willing at the beginning. Here now towards the end, there's times where he's like, Dada, no pictures. And he'll tell me not just to stop taking pictures. And so I'll put the camera away for a little bit and then he'll get in his zone and stuff. And then I can bring it back out. But it's one of those things I'm not always shooting. It's
Right.
just kind of like little spurts of 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And sometimes it's only for maybe 10 minutes during the day. And that might be all that I shoot, but I just try and make it a point to shoot a little bit every single day. I started off, I saw some people doing similar stuff on Facebook. And so I was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So about 2 or 3 days into our self quarantine, I started
Hmm.
taking pictures every day, and then I post them every day as well. In the first few days, got a lot of positive feedback, and I had a ton of Facebook messages and Instagram messages saying that they're inspired by what I was taking to go do it themselves. And so that motivated me to just keep going. And so I'm still shooting every day. I haven't been posting since our daughter arrived. I posted once since she arrived. It's just a little harder to keep up on the
Right.
editing every single
But
day.
you had
So
like hundreds of shares on Facebook with that project, I noticed, right?
yeah.
Like the images are really cool. Do you feel like it helped you stay creative during this time? Because I feel like there were also uh, similar to like what you shoot when you're shooting weddings, or like they had your distinct style. Was that's just in
Yeah.
you? And did you do that purposely?
Yeah, I think it's just how I like to shoot. And so it
Right.
wasn't something that I like consciously decided, oh, I'm going to shoot these how I shoot weddings. It's just
Right.
kind of what I like to do. And so that's just how I did it. The way we do weddings is we're mostly documentary in our approach. And so it was very easy to transition that into documenting our family.
Hmm.
And I like that it's so similar because it just kind of keeps me sharp and keeps me shooting. And whenever this is finally over and things start going back to normal, I'm not going to have to pick up my camera and be like, oh, I don't remember how to use this thing anymore.
Right.
And so it's been good in that. And then it's also just been good to kind of document where we're at and how things are changing and how things are affecting Zayden. And then it led into the birth of Riken. And so it's been kind of cool to see those in image form and have those to keep.
Right. And like, have you reached out to any clients during this time to keep in touch with them? Are you doing albums or anything? Like,
We
it
have
must be super hard
one
right now.
wedding that getting ready to occur, and so I'll be doing the album build and stuff like that online, and then been emailing back and forth with couples. We've had to reschedule a good handful of weddings and engagement shoots, and there's a bunch of people that are traveling into town for engagement shoots and stuff like that. And so we've just had to reschedule a lot of that stuff. Thankfully, we've only had cancellations so far. The rest have all just rescheduled, so that's
Oh,
been
that's good.
so hopefully it continues on that and no
Right.
more cancellations come in.
Well, do you think that, like, you were mentioning to me, like, I think maybe last week you were on some forums, or there's lots of photographers, lots of friends of yours. Like, is everybody sort of reaching out every day or trying to stay connected, like sharing advice or tips or how to stay connected to your clients? It must be really hard that suddenly there's just, it's like somebody pulled a plug out of the wall and we've all just gone dark in a
Yeah.
way. But then on the other side of that, everybody's really reaching out, doing like, I think Facebook, like, little video things and tutorials, things like that. Have you done any of those things?
Yeah, so I have a Patreon account, and so I've been doing a handful of videos and stuff for that, and then little interviews like this. Me and a friend of mine that's local, two friends of mine, we're getting ready to start a podcast, so we've been kind of recording episodes here and there
Mm-hmm.
throughout the weeks, and then yeah, just being active in communities and trying to be involved, I guess.
Right.
But yeah,
Um,
it's been interesting to see how much content photographers are cranking out right now to
it's
help other
crazy.
photographers,
Yeah.
and just all for free. There's so many people that are just trying to help out, trying to be motivating, trying to motivate other people. So yeah, it's been really cool to see.
Right. I think it's really impressive. And I've seen some projects where, like, somebody did a window portrait series, photographing their neighbors, and then raised a little bit of money for the local library, things like that.
Hmm.
So it's just cool to see people, like, helping in their community, as well as just, also staying creative, or just like going inward and photographing your family,
Hmm.
because you probably never get time to do that. And this is a precious time too, to do that and have time with your son. And you just had another child. Um, I just want to quickly ask you about the Barbie
Oh yeah,
project. What was that about? Did that come after photographing Zayden for
yeah. So it's
14 years?
almost like I want to say we'd only been home 2 or 3 days with our daughter, and had seen people do photo shoots like that before
Hmm.
with Ken and Barbie. And then just recently, I saw a couple new ones of people that have done them while they've been in isolation. But all of the images that I had seen where they used Ken and Barbie, they've all been that like light and airy style with muted colors and stuff like that. And so I just got the random thought. I was like, oh, that'd be cool to give it a try with our style and see what it looked like, using light and deep shadows and lots of color and stuff like that. And so, I mean, our kids are young. We don't have Barbies. So I texted my neighbor who has 3 kids and I was like, hey, this is a super awkward random question, but do you have a Barbie and Ken doll that I can borrow? And he was like, well, I got a Barbie doll, but um, I text another neighbor that's down the street to see if they have a Ken doll that you can use. And
Right.
so now I have like 2 different neighbors that are like lending me these Barbie and Ken dolls. I didn't explain what I was doing with them or why I needed them, but they just brought them over, got them all nice and sanitized. And then I just literally like an hour later, while the kids were napping again, I just went out and shot for about 45 minutes and then sanitized them again and wiped and returned them.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, are these images like this and the other series we talked about with Zayden, are those images you would like include in your portfolio, maybe just to show a range of what you do? Would you ever consider that? Or is it just like
Um,
personal work that you don't want to really put out there besides
no,
putting it on Facebook? But like, would you show clients
yeah,
or
definitely.
potential
So
clients?
yeah, we have like a family documentary side of our business as well that we do. We haven't done much with this, just kind of something that's always been in the back of my head of stuff I'd like to do. I just have to push it really hard locally. So I think it'd be good to use those as motivation to kind of start that side of the business whenever this whole virus thing goes away and we can actually like go inside clients' homes and do that type of work.
Right.
The Barbie and shoot was just for fun. Like I might do a blog post about it so that it's out there just to show that we're kind of silly and ridiculous.
Right.
But probably not like an actual part of our portfolio. Definitely not.
Right. But it's fun, something fun for now, and to keep you
Yeah, yeah.
sane.
Just, hey, we're locked in the house, but still working. We're still playing. We're still having
Right.
fun.
Like, do you have any advice to other photographers? I know, like, the business you're all in has just totally disappeared right now. Do you think that once we all go back to whatever normal is, then that, like, you could just pick up where you left off, or do you have any advice for your
Uh,
peers?
for me, it's been about being active and still shooting, and so I encourage people to do that, and I like that I'm motivating people to actually do that themselves. But at the same time, I know that there's other people that their personality types aren't like that. For
Right.
me, it would be hard to like go 2 months without shooting and then all of a sudden have to start photographing again. Like it'd be hard to get like the creative juices flowing again and remember the muscle memory of your camera and all that fun stuff. So for me, it just makes more sense to actually keep active in it.
Right.
But if you're the type of person that you don't need that and that's not part of like what fulfills you as a photographer, because there's people that are photographers, but they more like the business aspect. And so it'd be super easy for them to jump into what they normally do creatively.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I think my advice would just be to try and understand who you are as a photographer and what is going to help you hit the ground running whenever all this goes away.
Well, that's great advice. It's sort of what Rangefinder always tells, like, emerging photographers to, like, figure out who you are, figure out your style and your voice. Your voice is your brand. So I think that's great advice. I appreciate you talking to me
Yeah.
today. Probably the baby might wake up soon, so I'll let you go. And I look forward to seeing what's coming next. So keep me
Awesome. I appreciate
posted.
it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jason. Take care and stay safe.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.